All right, everybody, who's ready to get this party started? Welcome. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's informational session. All right, we are going to be talking today about getting the most out of your IT systems and IT services. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab whatever. Let's have a conversation. Always feel free to check us out online at www.alaskacomputersport.com if you have any more questions about all the fun stuff that we're talking about today, or if you just want to get in touch with us. The other thing is that please feel free to drop some comments in there and let me know if you have any questions as we go through this, and I'll be more than happy to answer those as we go. So let's talk about why we're talking about what we're talking about today. So security. As most of you guys know, there's a lot of just craziness happening in the world these days. And so we try to keep that at bay as much as possible. And that's one of the main functions that we provide here at Alaska Computer Support, also AKA Global Computer Support. And with that, it gives us the opportunity to help everyone stay safe and keep their businesses running. Because when you keep your business running, we keep everything just better. And the way that we do that is through keeping modern security tools in place that allow for end users to continue to do what they do safely. And also a big component of it, and what we're going to be talking about today, is education. So with our computer systems, we have a lot of different sides, parts and pieces to this, right? And a lot of times our computer systems do things that we don't even realize that they do. Today I had a really interesting conversation, and we were talking about using dictation software. So back in the day, used to be Naturally Speaking Dragon was like the big one that everybody would go to. That, or people would do different kind of hand recorders and have people actually do the dictation for them, and etc. These days, when we went to do the research on the replacement for the dictation software, it's actually a subcomponent in all the technology that we have already. And so there wasn't anything like for sale. So when we went to look in the market space, we're like, hey, what's the latest, greatest tool to do this? There really isn't one anymore. And the reason why is, like, you want to do dictation on your Windows computer, hit your Windows key and H, and boom, all of a sudden you're going to start being able to do dictation. You're on an Apple, I want to say it's your Alt key. Strike it 3 times back to back to back. You're going to be able to start doing dictation. You do dictation from your phone. We do dictation in so many different ways these days, and it's really high end, works really great. And so that's just one example of a tool that can increase your efficiency at your computer system and allow you to just get the most out of the tools that you already have. So a lot of times when we're using these computer systems, we're using a very small function of what they do. So there's 2 sides to that. One is do we try to maximize it to its fullest potential and use all the features? but then how much do we get caught up in all the features, and how much do we draw back to just the parts and pieces that we need? And so let's start to look at some of those balances and see what works and what doesn't work. So the biggest thing is understanding what your workflow is and what you're trying to accomplish. If we're going to get creative, the first thing, so we're going to have standardized workflows. A lot of that's going to deal with communication and documentation. That's pretty much everywhere with computers and businesses alike, right? And so we got to document things. We got to track documentation. That's either going to be a custom piece of software. That's going to be something like Word, Notepad, something along those lines. So we have those basic tools to do that. But then we also have some different ways that we can actually jump in and start to, track other information. So that's where we get into the conversation from last week. Are we using Microsoft Office Online? Are we going to use Google Suite? What kind of tool set are we going to be using to do that? And so those are some of the basics. Let's say I don't want to get all involved in that. I just need a simple little machine somewhere. All our computers have a flavor of a program called Notepad. That's free, comes with the operating system. So that's kind of like back to the dictation thing, that's built in. Now we have sound editors, video editors. We have documents. We have just a whole plethora of recording devices. Most computers these days are coming with the camera systems and the microphones. And so there's just a lot of resource that we have available there. And so let's back up a little bit and let's get back into that workflow. What are we trying to accomplish? And that's really what we need to be looking at, is how does utilizing our computer systems align with our business goals and what we're looking to achieve inside our businesses. And here again, if you're just a person just wanting to use this for home, well, here again, the question comes up, what are you trying to do? If you're just trying to stay connected with other people, well, then typically that's going to be a social media platform. Well, what does that look and how far do you go with it? What more do you need other than like a cell phone and maybe a camera on a computer? A lot of that can be accomplished with that. And so when we start to then drive into the next components, well, hey, Mike, I need support with this. I need to know these answers and I don't have these answers. Well, that's when you reach out to us. I got a great team here. We can help you look at what you're trying to do and help you find the parts and pieces that go into that. So, because it's all kind of a case by case study. Right off the bat, the easiest ones that we see are people utilizing your Word, your Excel, Notepad, and just some basic stuff like that. And then communication wise, a lot of times you can get away with things like Facebook. All of the major social media applications these days are going to have secondary communication forms for doing chat. A lot of them have voice. So that's really interesting as well. That's another thing which has been interesting to see come onto the market space here, is where people are starting to shift towards online platforms such as Google, such as Microsoft for phone systems. I think we're going to see more trending in that direction. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work for everyone, because we do have that kind of baseline. Well, I do need internet. I do need to have cell service to get that internet wherever I'm at. And so there's just a lot of different avenues that are starting to change there. The other big component about that, and while I'm so excited that you guys are watching the channel today, is because there's so much change going on. And so it's my responsibility to start sharing this with you. One of the biggest changes that's happening these days is AI and the way AI is driving things. And so there's good sides to that, and then there's bad sides to that. And so on the good sides, we have the ability to come across a lot more professional with our writing. We can do a lot of art creation, we can do writing creation, and all of these things through AI generators. And so that's just another tool in the tool set. And here pretty soon, that's going to be integrated into your computer system the exact same way Notepad or WordPad or some of these basic tools are that are used for the basic writing. And so as AI becomes more and more prevalent in there, of course, we're going to see a lot more of that bad side with that as well. We're already hearing some rumblings about people utilizing it to do spoofing people's voices, to get people to send money and do different counterfeit type acts, different trickery for fraud. And so that's going to be a concern as always coming up. And then there's also just a lot of people that are utilizing it to generate things on the bad side to get us caught. They're also using it for advanced programming. One of the big ones that I'm starting to rabbit hole more into, which I'm going to talk about with home security here in just a minute, and share with you guys what we do at home and how that works and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. But one of the big ones that's coming our direction is it's called killware. So, we have malware, we have viruses, we have ransomware. And then, so all of these are just different types of pieces of software that come into our computer systems. The one which is killware, my understanding is what's going to happen is it's going to get inside of systems and it's just going to shut them down. So one of the things that's crazy about this and where this information is coming from is there are global security organizations that are planning for this for the case that a supposed type of malware called killware would be released into the unknown's public, and then all of a sudden cause all this havoc and chaos. And what would that look like? And what would need to be done? And what would be the outcomes? How much would it cost? Where are the market segments that would make more money and all this other stuff? They're doing these full analysis. And this might sound familiar because we've seen a lot of this pre-planning that turns into the exact events. And more of it's popping up these days. But luckily, those sources are being more and more exposed because of the way the internet works and just the way we get information. And so my concern is that something like a killware is going to be created by some 3-letter organizations that I won't get into because we're not going to go too far down that rabbit hole. But the bigger thing that I need you guys to know about is that these security threats are real and these security threats are powerful because of where they're coming from. It's not just some, hacker sitting in a cave in, Afghanistan or, Saudi or somewhere like that, or, some backward to eat potato soup in Russia. It's not the way this works anymore. And so security is like really huge. And so back to that training element, one of the other things that we can help provide you guys is pre-security for avoiding things like malware. And so you're not going to get caught up in these traps of, having people do what they call phishing attacks against you and, just a way to keep your computer more safe and keep your computer running. And so that's a real education point and a real training point. So the same way that I need training on the software and the applications and what my computer can do, I have that other side of that on, keeping myself trained up on security and, how to utilize and how to have a security tool set in place that's going to protect me. And so a lot of times this is too much, especially if you're a small business owner, you don't want to be concerned with all the, in-depth daily changing. And that's where you give your IT company a call. Of course, we'd love to be that IT company. We are working nationwide now. So no matter where you're at, we can help you out. And the things you should be asking that IT company about is like, so what do you guys do for your security suites? How do you handle desktop security? How are you going to help me handle security? One of the tools that we like around here is called LastPass. LastPass is a way to have very complex, secure passwords that are at your fingertips all the time through your cell phone, inside your browser, wherever you need them, when you need them. And then you can also share them with people, and they don't even get to see them. So you can share them, revoke them, a lot of control and power over that. And so you really need to lean into your IT company for a lot of these services. The next one is the support aspect of that. Hey, I have a question. Who do you go to? Who's your trusted source? A lot of times we can jump on YouTube, but just check out some of the cooking recipes sometimes. So many of those things are just fake. It's crazy the amount of misinformation that we're constantly seeing come out. So, you need to have a good trusted source with that that's reliable and get you the answers when you need them. So we pride ourselves on being that resource. But if you are somewhere and you're using a different IT company, go ahead and query that up. Find out what that looks like. Also, at what point do they charge for what? So all this has to end up being cost effective at the end of the day too. And so a big part of me doing these videos is to keep everything running strong around here. I need you guys to run your businesses the way you do because we need your business support the same way you need our business support. And so today I'm going to share one here with you, and because our home environments are just as important as our business environments. And I've talked about this before on the business environment side. We use a product line called Unify. And the neat thing about Unify, they came from a Motorola kind of background, which everybody knows the name Motorola. And then they moved into their own space. And they have very powerful tools. And they're just a really great design. And they really give us the tools that we need from the IT side to protect you. And so when you put these devices in, a lot of times, they're going to be super simple to set up. I was able to actually implement a new Unify device in my environment at home. We have tons of devices in our house. We have light bulbs and switches and smart speakers and all that kind of fun stuff. And within 20 minutes, we were able to roll over our whole entire network by just maintaining our network ID and the password that went along with that. So we didn't have to do this major changeover and touch every single one of those devices. So super lucky on the way that worked. Let's go ahead and take a look at the device that I'm talking about today. And so this is the guy right here. It's called the Dream Router by Unify. They're a great little device, and we can help you get these things set up. This is exactly what you're going to need at home because it keeps up to date, keeps the security tip top, with these updates that come into it. And from there, it allows you to plug in any kind of devices, and it does full integration with all the other parts and pieces that Unify ties into. And specifically what I'm talking about is it's going to tie into security cameras. It can tie into additional wireless access points and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So if this is something that you feel like you need at home, definitely reach out to us, let us know, and we'll get you started on that. So make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure you get my emails. I kick those out every week to let you guys know when we're going live here. So that's the big concerns today is security. So the products, just to kind of recap, LastPass. Okay, that's going to be our password keeper. Unify. That's going to be our network security endpoint stuff. Utilizing a tool set like ours. We have our MPH plan. And if you're seeing this video, call in. If you have a home setup where you need some MPH, say it's for yourselves, say it's for your kids, for your parents, anything like that, we can go ahead and get you guys squared away on that. And we'll give that at a discount. Just call in and ask us what you got going on. Mention that you saw it here, and you'll be able to get that for the $19.95 a month per endpoint. And that's going to be that full suite of software security going on there, as well as the availability to call into the office for just standard time and materials. So lots of good stuff going on around here today. We are happy to be able to serve you guys with this different information. And so let's all keep an eye out for keeping our security up to date, especially with this killware coming in our direction here pretty soon. We're anticipating on seeing that starting to hit the market space here within about the next 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks is when we're going to start seeing that knocking on the door. We're keeping our products up to date, and we are making sure that we're staying on top of things so you guys don't have to worry about that. If you do have any questions, go ahead and give us a shout out, and then we'll just keep on going from there. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up short today. Appreciate you guys showing up here. Great opportunity to share this information with you. Make sure to reach out and give us a call, and we're at 907-868-7300. You can also find us at alaskacomputersupport.com. And if you do have, businesses or friends stateside or just anyone that that needs some endpoint protection, make sure to use that special that I was talking about today, $19.95 for MPH for your home users. And that's going to give that protection on the desktop. It's going to keep those computers running smooth and just help people when they need it. Also, if you have those one-off jobs, you need some backups done, or you need a transfer to a new system, or need some assistance buying a new system, make sure to give us a shout here at the office, 907-868-7300, and we'll be able to help with all those needs as well. So hope you guys stay safe out there, stay warm, have a wonderful day, and start enjoying